Hello there. This is Charlie, aka Ronan Logan X, and this is Ronan Logan X Reviews. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Batman 66 Retro line from McFarlane Toys. To start things off, I just want to say that one of my favorite things to do as a kid was to sit down and catch reruns of the classic Batman live action series starring Adam West and Burt Ward. It was one of my all-time favorite shows growing up, to the point that my parents bought me a pair of Batman pajamas, which came with a little cape and cowl, and I would go everywhere in that thing. I refused to take it off, and I would be running around, capes in my hand, going na 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 na, and just running everywhere and playing like I was Batman. So to say that I was excited when I saw this new line of figures is probably a bit of an understatement. Now to get to the breakdown. As far as articulation goes, these figures, while they do have a decent amount of articulation, it's nowhere near what you would find with anything out of Marvel Legends or Star Wars The Black Series, or even McFarlane's 7-inch line of DC Multiverse figures. But you can get a few decent poses out of these figures. My biggest issue with the articulation is that their feet have zero articulation, which means you have to have them in a very specific stance, otherwise they just won't stand up. So that's really the only complaint I have as far as the articulation. As for accessories, all of them come with little clip-on bang, pow, onomatopoeia effects, so that's cool, but that's about it. There really isn't that much more in the way of accessories for these figures. Although Batman and Robin do come with cloth goods capes, which is a nice touch. As I've found that I always prefer cloth capes to just a chunk of plastic for a cape. However, your mileage may vary regarding this aspect of these figures. Now, moving on to the likenesses, all of them look really good in my opinion. They're not the best, but they more than do the job. If I had to come up with some sort of negative regarding the faces of these figures, I would have to say that some of them have what I've seen referred to as the McFarlane side eyes. However, that isn't necessarily a deal breaker for me. Of the ones that I currently have, I have to say that the Joker, the Penguin, and the Catwoman are probably the best out of the bunch. Now, I also know that they have variants, which include unmasked versions of at least the Riddler, and I think there's actually a masked variant of the Joker, although I have yet to see that in person. The only unmasked variant I have is the Batman, which is a really good likeness, but not 100%. He'd probably rank in number 4 after those listed earlier. But on the whole, I think all of these are really solid action figures. Now to move on to the other part of this line, as you can see, there's a Batmobile, which I think is a really solid rendition of this vehicle. There really isn't a whole lot to it other than rolling wheels and the fact that you can actually fit Batman and Robin into the passenger and driver seat, but it really looks the part. And they also have a Batcave playset, although I have not picked that up as of yet. In my opinion, it looks as though it may not be exactly in scale with the figures and the Batmobile, but I'd have to get it in hand to make certain. And as of the time of this recording, they have also announced a playset of a Villain's Lair as well as the Bat Cycle. So I'm really liking that they are going the extra mile and are adding vehicles and accessories to go with this line, as 6-inch lines don't usually get much in the way of vehicles or diorama type play sets. So that's a nice bonus to the line. To sum up my thoughts on this toy line, I'd have to give it a high recommend, at least as far as the action figures are concerned, as well as the vehicles. Unless you're a die-hard fan, you can probably give the play sets a pass. As for the future of this line, I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they come up with. I know that they've already announced a Julie Newmar Catwoman, as well as Mr. Freeze, and some black and white versions of characters previously released. That said, I'd love to see Egghead and Bookworm personally, as those were two of my favorites from the classic series. But I know that that would also be dependent on them gaining the likeness rights for Vincent Price and Roddy McDowall. I hope you have enjoyed this video and that it has been informative and helpful in any decisions you might have regarding the purchases of these figures and their added accessories. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe, and ring that bell icon if you would like to be notified on any future videos of mine. And if you would like to find anything else of mine, you can find me on Instagram at RonanLoganX, where I post toy photography photos as well as puppy pictures of my pup Ripley. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.